A force is a push or a pull. This beach ball is still. If these children apply a force to it, it begins to move. If they keep on applying a force, it will move faster and faster. An equal and opposite force applied to the ball can stop its movement. If one force is greater, the ball moves in the direction of the greater force. Here, two pulls are equal, and the tug-of-war rope is still. If one pull becomes smaller, the rope moves in the direction of the other pull. A force can produce movement or stop movement. It can produce faster and faster movement. Here, an athlete is using force to change the direction of movement of a metal ball from a straight line to a circular path. The force on this ball is produced by the athlete's muscles. The movement produced by the force is similar to the movement of the moon around the Earth. Perhaps there is a force pulling the moon towards the Earth. This must be a different kind of force, which does not require there to be a connection with the body upon which it acts. This large mass of iron is being raised by a crane. Now it is released. It moves with such a speed that the impact smashes the motor car body. The force producing this movement was a pull, the pull of the Earth. It is called the force of gravity. It is the force of gravity which makes the moon move in a circular path round the Earth. Here is another invisible force. These tacks are being raised by a magnetic force. Here are two balloons and an electric generator. When the generator is switched on, the balloons are pulled towards it. The generator is discharged and the balloons are released. Here we have another invisible force, an electric force. Two forces are equal and opposite, they balance each other. But a pair of such forces acting on this balloon can change its shape. They can distort it. When the balloon is released, it springs back to its original shape because it is elastic. A pair of forces can distort this sponge. This is also elastic. A pair of pliers can distort this paperclip. It is elastic. If we pull it too far, it does not regain its shape. We have pulled it beyond its elastic limit. Some things, like this block of clay, need very little force to pull or push them beyond this point. A pair of forces can change the length of this spring. The support exerts one force. The force of gravity on the iron mass exerts the other force. The spring is elastic. When the mass is moved, the spring returns to its original length. This elastic spring can be used to measure forces. The force of gravity on one mass stretches it 1 inch. On two masses, there is twice the force of gravity, and the spring stretches 2 inches. 3 masses, 3 times the force of gravity, 3 inches. We call the Earth's force of gravity on an object its weight. In order to distort this iron bar, a very strong pair of forces is required. Its elastic limit has been exceeded. The Earth's gravitational pull on the Strongman is quite large, about 200 pounds. The girl cannot produce such a large force, but she can lift him. She is being helped by a machine. This does two things. It changes the direction of the force she produces. When she pushes down, the machine pushes up. Also, it makes the force bigger. Here is another machine, a lifting jack. The girl pushes backwards and forwards. The jack pushes upwards. It is possible for the girl to raise a vehicle weighing many tons. With this machine, which is rather similar, a block of wood can easily be broken. This log can be split into two pieces with a simple machine which consists of a hammer and wedge. The wedge is placed in the log and downward forces are exerted on it with the hammer. The two sides of the wedge push outwards with much greater forces. A moving object can transfer its motion to another object. The steel ball swinging in from the right stops where it hits the other one. To bring this moving ball to rest, the still ball exerts a force on it. To make the still ball move, the moving ball exerts a similar but opposite force. Here is the same thing with magnetic forces. We have seen examples of forces produced by muscles, by the Earth's pull, by magnetism, and by electricity. Forces can also be produced by engines. This rocket engine is producing a force great enough to lift the rocket out into space, completely clear of the force of gravity.